Good morning, guys. Welcome to this week's episode. A little bit different than a few of the other ones we've been doing lately. So I'm actually on a friend's boat, my mate Steven, and he has an issue. Now this is a Lagoon 400 S2. So it's not the same problem that the Lagoon 450s have, but it is a bulkhead problem. So I'm going to show you through this one. We want Steven to come with us with his crew. We're all going down to Grenada, and the only way we can get him there is if we fix this thing where we are now. So I'm going to show you around the problem. Okay, so what you're going to notice here, this is the main lazarette, anchor locker, big nice space actually, which is really good because I've got somewhere to work. You're going to notice there where you see the blue plumbing pipes, that's a rot issue. And the main bulkhead going from starboard to port or port to starboard is the main one going across. Now this is a known problem with the Lagoons, that they actually, the water that comes down from the mast, it doesn't have a runaway point. So unfortunately it's been building up. Somehow it's making its way through the Lagoon's tabbing and epoxy, and it's starting to rot out the shelf, which is actually for the water tank. So you can see here I've removed one water tank so far just for an inspection. Got to get the other one out this morning. Also got to clear out all these pipes. So basically what we've got to do today is a lot of preparation work so that we can actually get the fiberglass. We've got to cut back all the rot, find out how far we've gone, replace it. We're going to be using composite materials, epoxy resins, 1708 matte. We're going to do it properly, make this boat nice and solid so we can all continue down to Grenada. So what we're going to do is just crack on basically. We're going to have to start pulling around. I'll go and show you some inside as well, because some of this is going to have to be done from the saloon area. So what we're going to do, because there's people going to be on this vessel while we're doing the repair. So one, they're going to have to live with a bit of dust, but we're going to try and limit it as much as possible. But we are also going to, water tank is already out. So we're going to plumb that in so these guys can still have a shower at the end of the day when it's been all dusty and horrible and we're done for the day. These guys can still have a shower, brush their teeth, you know, cook some dinner, that sort of stuff, wash the dishes. So we're going to do a bit of a plumbing job on that one. But anyway, let's show you some of the stuff from the inside. So the repair we're doing, I've just shown you from the anchor side. That is there. Obviously you can see the two port lights on the front there. Biggest problem we're going to have, this is going to be a double-sided repair. With it being a double-sided repair, I'm going to have to obviously get from both sides, but that's the only inspection I've got here. So I'm going to have to cut a chunk out from the back of the saloon here, so we've got access. And also there's another couple of places where we can get in. All right, so ready for tomorrow to start getting the actual main work done, i.e. cutting back, chasing the rot, finding the bad spots so we can actually start to rebuild it. But before doing that, as I said earlier, we did have to put in a temporary water source. So we've got one of the water tanks, not sure if you can see it out there out the window. We've moved that onto the port side. And I've got, as you've seen before, my buddy Carl from Bugging Out.
So we need to look and see if that's...
He's been my plumber.
Water running somewhere, because that should have shut off by now.
That's a pressure pump though, builds up.
Yeah, but it should have shut off by now.
So what we've done is we've rerouted the water to this one here. We are going to do a couple of checks on it and make sure no taps are open, because it does sound like there's a leak, but there might not be. Anyway, that's what we've done for now, so I can start working for tomorrow morning.
So this project that Davy's working on is on a Lagoon 400 S2. It's not every Lagoon 400 that has this problem, but there is quite a few of them that do. So I'm going to show you some of the photos from some of the other repairs that we've seen on this same problem. So you can take a look and see what those look like for what this project is going to entail. These pictures have come from a few Lagoon 400 S2s that have had the same problem as this one. Some of the boats have had bigger sections or smaller sections that must be replaced. Now let's see how Davy cracks on with this project on this boat. So this section here that Davy's working on is really challenging. There's a lot of cables and pipes behind this wall. They will have to be moved when he does the double-sided repair, but for now he has to be very careful with the depth of his blade so he doesn't go through to the other side. So it just makes it a little bit more challenging, but he's making great progress, getting rid of all that rotten wood. Well, you're starting to put the wall back together.
Yep. Alright, so what we've got going on here, I was trying to film before but we had technical issues. Now Erica's here and fixed the camera, which is fantastic. So where we've got to so far, you've seen that we've cut out here all this on the time lapse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a piece back in here because I want to work further across, but I don't want to take too much out. This whole area here, you saw it anyway, I managed to take it out with fingers. This wasn't holding anything up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinforce this just from the one side. Once the work's all done on this side, we will go to the other side and put a lot of new tabbing. This is all solid fiberglass, the wood's all been removed. So we'll put this in as a support, and then tomorrow I can start working in the other direction, work under the mast and then above and beyond. But we need to get a bit of strength back into the pace before I want to start taking out too much wall. So
Mixy, mixy.
mixing, mixing, mixing. So I'm going to thicken this up and I'm going to reattach the new piece with thickened epoxy on the back to this tabbing and this tabbing. But just before I do that, covered in dust. I'm just going to wet everything out first, just to make sure that everything is ready to adhere to. It's all soaked in nicely. Alrighty, so back at it. This piece glassed in yesterday, so that's going to distribute a bit of the weight better now that I can then continue on. So my idea is to go this way today, cleaning up first, and then filling here. I've got to chase as well. There's a bit of dry rot down here, so I'm going to chase that out. Clean up this. This is tabbing from the other side that can be reused. So aim of today, clean all this lot up, put a piece in here, put a piece in here, and let that dry overnight, and then I'll be able to come back and then start working in this direction tomorrow. So I'm going to put a bit of a time lapse on. It's just going to be some cutting, some grinding, getting dusty, that sort of stuff, but we'll do a quick time lapse on it. Alright, let's crack on.
here for this week's episode as Davy is tearing out more rotten wood and starting to rebuild it with the composite material. It's a big project, but he's definitely making progress. Forward visual progress is always satisfying in jobs like this. So hope you've enjoyed this week's episode and stay tuned for part 2 of this little mini series next week.